liberty, and justice for all. Please stay standing for those who have passed recently. Patricia Smith, Andrew Levendos, Clifford Faust. Roll call. Mr. Briggs.
Present.
Ryder.
Here.
Cassie.
Here.
Paul.
Here.
Fire exits are right behind me here, down the fire escape. Don't go out the elevator or the stairs. Correspondence of the town. Attorney's concerns.
None that we haven't resolved.
I think we'll do petitioners then, and then do the state of the town. Is there any petitioners on Zoom that want to speak?
Sounds like good.
Doesn't look like it.
Okay, with no petitioners requesting conversation, I'll go to the state of the town, which I think we should sit back and relax because it's going to be 2 minutes. It goes like this. The town board came into 2020 with a purpose in mind to serve the residents and taxpayers by working together, sharing each other's strengths in an effort to move the town forward. This management style builds organizational skills, sets milestones, requires ability to listen, multitask, and work under pressure to get results. I think we've done that. The entire board has worked pretty hard. Little did we know that the worldwide pandemic called COVID-19 would change our everyday way of life. The world, our countries, all countries, our United States have taken measures to stem the spread of the terrible virus. A second wave has occurred recently, which has required all of us to practice social distancing, wear masks, wash our hands endlessly. New York State has 996,000 confirmed cases and 37,000 plus very unfortunate deaths attributed to the COVID-19. Early in the pandemic, Ulster County Executive Pat Ryan and the County Health Department held 7-day-a-week conference calls with all of the 20 town supervisors and the 3 mayors to discuss the New York Health Department's measures to stem the virus, the spread of the virus. We took direction, we suggested plans, we shared ideas of how your government could help to stem the spread, but also attempt to keep everyday essential services open and available to you, the residents and taxpayers. Presently, these calls are now 1 day a week on Wednesdays. Some of the issues that were addressed were closing our town parks in the town of Orsini on April 10th. Approximately a month later, we opened up again with some restrictions. Short-term rentals we discussed, campgrounds, bungalows, colonies, overnight camps. You know that the governor went through healthcare conditions and opening of the various businesses and camps. Short-term rentals. Nothing, at that point, I don't believe they dealt with that. They looked into it, but didn't make any judgment as a government in the county. We closed Town Hall, which is still closed, to walk through traffic, but from the very beginning and continuously, at the same time providing full service to our residents by phone, mail, email, or at the door. The town clerk's office, with Jackie Kyer as town clerk, was the hub for the service for the town clerk, the supervisor's office, the building department, the court office, assessor's office, recreation office, the accounting office. The accounting office was opened from the counter throughout 2020, which is behind us in a separate building. Plexiglass shields were constructed in each department, as well as employees wearing masks, just as all businesses have done. All of our employees are to be commended for their dedication to their job, their families, and residents and taxpayers. Ulster County created the COVID-19 dashboard, stating the number of active cases, recovered, and unfortunate deaths attributed to COVID-19. A point of reference is that on December 2nd, 2020, in the town of Orsini, there were 34 active cases and 215 confirmed cases from the very beginning, with 5 very unfortunate fatalities. Today's numbers Just a little more than a month later, they were at 107 yesterday, and now they're back to 102 active cases, 336 confirmed cases, and 6 fatalities. Early on in the pandemic, the town emergency coordinator, Chan Rivera, and the town board held meetings with all of our fire district personnel, the ambulance squad, the judges, Ellenville Regional Hospital Steve Kelly, to sync and agree to protocols to take measures when protecting our volunteers and the residents of the town. We worked with Ulster County Deputy Director Emergency Services Mike Gaffney, whereby Chan Rivera, our emergency response coordinator, drove to Kingston at least 8 times to be provided PPE, masks, gloves, and sanitizers. We delivered 700 masks to the senior housing complexes, 2 in Ellenville on Canal and Center and 1 by the hospital. Additionally, we serviced 14 places of worship with masks, gloves, and sanitizer. Ulster County government created the Project Resilience food delivery service at the end of March, and the town of Wawarsing started the program here in the lobby of the town hall and then shifted to the Pioneer Firehouse with a large number of wonderfully dedicated volunteers who delivered 15,000 meals through May 5th of 2020. The town of Wawarsing signed on to the New York State mandated emergency preparedness plan to establish fundamentals of reducing the spread of COVID. We're still in the process of finalizing that. Ulster County will have 2 distribution centers for the vaccine, one of which will be at Kingston High School Fieldhouse, and Ellenville Regional Hospital is giving the vaccine. Ellenville Regional Hospital is giving the vaccine now, but they will be 2 of the distribution centers. You can go online at ny.gov/vaccine to see if you are eligible. Just go online, it's pretty easy to do. Despite the challenges that we've had with COVID, the town did move forward in 2020. The 2020 budget was a 0.35 increase tax levy from 2019, and the 21 budget is at 0% increase from the tax levy in 2020. The 2020 revenues and expenditures were closely monitored throughout the year, and there were some shortfalls as well as services that were not provided as scheduled. The Ellenville Wawarsing Youth Commission did not operate the summer camp. Unfortunately, we tried to do it. We came up with some ideas of delivering meals. We had a lot of time. We spent a lot of time here trying to do it, and I'd like to thank the board members that were involved in those liaisons, Mr. Briggs at that time and Roger, I believe, at that time, that were looking at with Sam Bugner to try to, do something that we could end up doing, but it didn't really work out. The summer program is not run, and we actually rolled over those funds into the general fund balance. The New York State CHIPS highway funding for 2020, which normally is in the 500 plus range, 500,000 plus, was reduced by 20%, and it definitely is expected to be cut in 2021. The New York State AIM, or Aid and Incentives to Municipalities, we did receive the 45,000 that we've received in previous years. So that was a good thing. The sales tax, actually, we looked at it, and actually we increased from $207,909 to $209,390. So we actually made a couple thousand more than the previous year. So that is good. The Town of Wawarsing Assessors report. I have some department reports. We have a new assessor, Renee Oldzimik, in her first year with the town, offering a wealth of experience from where she's come to in her career, and we were lucky to have her as an assessor. Exemptions, mailing of exemption renewals, processing, approving, and filing of forms, reminding phone calls that were made to property owners as the deadline was approaching this year. Renewals were for nonprofit exemptions. Approximately 550 exemptions are processed each year. Disabled veterans, letters were sent to them, disabled veterans, to confirm the disability. Deeds and property transfers were approximately 380 deeds, sales, foreclosures, transfers to trust, life estates. Data collector, we had a part-time data collector for several weeks. This was a tremendous help since he was able to review the condominium inventory and catch up on the village building permits and many of the town building permits. Together, we worked on a few requests for reviews, including mixed-use commercial properties. The work was carried out fast and accurately with 2 people in the field. Once back in the office, photos were uploaded onto the computer. Small claims, we had small claims filed and prepared comparable sale information for each. And then the hearings were held by email, which is different because of the COVID. Tax certiorari's, we had a property owner. We had 5 of those, all residential properties. We had corrections of errors that were filed with the Ulster County due to exemptions not being applied and the property being assessed at the wrong acreage mileage. So Renee was catching a lot of stuff that had to be done and has to be done. Omit pro rata forms were filed with the county. Building permits, the building department and the assessor, if you don't know, work hand in hand with each other. State-owned land, each year the assessor receives a list of state-owned parcels from ORPS. They are reviewed by our acreage amount differs if the acreage differs from theirs, ranging from a couple of acres to over 140 acres. A letter was sent to appraising ORPS of the differences. Ongoing all the time is lot line improvements, changes to assessments, and tax maps. You can get a hold of her by telephone, email, inquiries. The next category would be the tax collector. The report shows $14,971,698 to be raised by taxes, $8,710,004 for the town, and $6,261,693 for Ulster County. Robin Anderson, a longtime tax collector, has a hard job, but does a great job for you, the taxpayers. The highway department employees, under normal conditions, have a tough job, but with these COVID-19 challenges, they have gone above and beyond on many occasions to keep our roads safe for you and our community. Approximately 16 miles of roads were paved or chip sealed. There were 45 culvert pipes that were replaced. 8 catch basins were installed. 2 crews were out with trucks 5 days a week, weather permitting, cutting down most dead ash trees, but any potentially dangerous tree and limbs. In the past couple of years, Mr. Pays has discussed with the board, and we've purchased bucket trucks for that purpose, and we have 2 5-man crews. The highway department normally maintains 13 cemeteries every year, but Fentonkill Cemetery is one that is not one of them owned by the town of Worthing, but as a lot of people may know, it is come in disrepair. There's cemeteries in New York State have a hard time making a go of it, and we've actually invested approximately $32,000 into assisting and making it a safe cemetery, cutting trees, plowing the snow off the roads, cutting a lot of the big dead trees and disposing of them. And it should be noted that the Fentonkill has a caretaker and existing agreement with the contractor addressing trees and property as well. The town signed a 5-year contract with the transfer station's Ulster County Resource Recovery Agency at the same cost to the taxpayers as the previous 5-year contract. 2021 permits are $60 and $50 for seniors 65 and older for all the services. Building department report. They issued 404 building permits totaling $82,782 with a value of $18,376,449. There were 274 certificates of occupancy / compliance. There were 1,482 building inspections. There were 98 fire and safety inspections, 22 re-inspections totaling $8,241. The ZBA had 5 appeals with 8 meetings throughout the year. Planning board totals to date are $39,490 for subdivision and site plans. Then we go to the court office. The state of the court is functioning since last May through the staff's incredible efforts. The public's access to justice remains uninterrupted. In 2019, the court reported a total of $293,928.50 to New York State Comptroller. In 2020, the court reported a total of $234,262 to the New York State Comptroller. The difference is attributed in part to the COVID-19 restrictions on the operations of the court. Village Town Parks Commission, New York Department of Corrections, O&W Rail Trail. The town's highway department continues to progress this project. In 2020, the section of trail from the crossing of Institution Road north to the Decker Bridge was completed. A half mile of split rail fencing was installed from Institution Road south to the project boundary. Discussions with Senator Jen Metzger resulted in being approved for a $100,000 grant, which should be available in 2021 for the Port Bend Bridge. Pavilions. The project added a third pavilion at Lippman Park and erected a new pavilion on the grounds of Burn Road Park, as Town of Wawarsing was the fiscal lead agency. Ulster County provided partial funding for this project for both pavilions. Playground. The town added an additional set of playground features and associated site at Lippman, making it 3 playground units at Lippman. Borders and official playground mulch were provided throughout the area. The golf course. The Village of Ellenville reported a successful year in its first year of operation, which is a village entity. COVID-19. The town and village were able to move through the various phases of initial closure and gradual safe opening of the park facilities as guided by the Department of Health regulations regarding COVID-19. Residents and visitors heavily visited parks facilities this year. It's unclear if this boom in visitation will continue in future years. Signage and wayfinding. The Park and Recreation Commission, which Roger and myself are on, hired a design firm called Merge to create a signage and wayfinding plan for the village and the town. The town and village next steps are to obtain funding to complete a first phase of installation. The design guidelines developed in the plan will be used for any signage that the municipalities install one-off using municipal funding or in replacements of existing signs. Ellenville Wawarsing Youth Commission. Mr. Briggs and Roger also worked on this. January through March, scheduled activities took place like the Friday night movies. Camp registration, securing staff, trip planning, expanding spring fling, and the community recycling initiative. Once COVID-19 hit the town board, once it hit, the town board was forced to cancel the youth summer program. Therefore, all camp fees were then refunded. Staff were given alternate duties, such as working on and changing the town of Wawarsing.net website to wawarsingny.gov. So please go on to that new site. That's www.wawarsingny.gov. So again, please check out that site. The Environmental Conservation Committee report. Jack Griffo assisted with this. They monitored and coordinated the New York Rural Association water study. The study will be completed in March of 21. Continue with the Riverkeeper and the Roundout Creek Watershed Alliance to monitor and improve the health of the Roundout Creek. They participated in the Ulster County Environmental Management Council. They continued to promote and lobby for the conservation of Colony Farm as open space. Everybody knows about Colony Farm and our intentions and hopes that it can be kept as a open space property. Work with the town, village, parks, and recreation commission. And then new efforts for the ECC are to promote a beautification plan for Route 209 and 4455 intersection prepared by Jamie Larson. That's directly across the road on 209 by the tire center there. Climate Smart Community Program efforts. Since the town took the Climate Smart Pledge on December 19th, the task force and coordinator have been appointed, and the commission task force has worked with Ulster County Cornell Cooperative Extension to complete the Climate Smart Resiliency Planning Tool, which is designed to evaluate opportunities for the town to improve the community's resilience to flooding and climate change. Created and submitted a plan of proposed actions for the town to consider in its efforts to meet the demands of climate change. Started applying for credits for actions that the town has already taken, which leads, the credits lead to grants. Agreed to work with Ulster County Cornell Cooperative Extension in 2021 to complete and submit actions for the DEC approval to reach the bronze level and increase the eligibility for future grant funding, as I just said. The new Wawarsing Water District is a lot of work, and it's been going on for a couple of years. The water line will run from Institution Road to Kerhonkson Water Line. The actual district that DEP, New York City DEP, created through the USGS studies runs. The actual district will provide water to the residents from the Trooper Barracks to just north of the Tractor Supply. So that is the actual defined district, and all the off streets off of 209. The New York State Department of Corrections were friendly neighbors and allowed the town to install 3 wells at Eastern Correctional's property in 2018. 2019, we defined the Wawarsing District with assistance of the DEP and funding and created a 30% plan. We completed plans in 2020 and have received regulatory approvals from the New York City Health and the DEC. The water treatment plant will be named the Stephen F. Bradley Building, which will be located just off of Institution Road and will be bid out in February and completed this year. A 483,000 gallon water storage tank was bid out and will be completed early this year. The transmission line bid was completed and should be completed during the summer. The project support team and schedule. The team over the last 3 years includes the late Stephen F. Bradley, who served as a council, and everybody knows he was on the board for 10 plus years and was a very big part of getting this project off the ground. Chazen Engineering's of Poughkeepsie, New York, Town Attorney Bill Kyer, Town Water and Sewer Supervisor Jim Montagna, Town Council members Paul Tezolino, Cassie Spohr, New York State DEP Commissioner Paul Rush, Judith Clark, Bill Richardson, and I held countless meetings, which included public meetings, presenting the district plan, and signing of easements by our residents. We thank everyone that's been a part of this creation of this Wawarsing Water District. The project future, we look forward to working with many contractors over the next year and a half. We've developed construction phases, which are about 8 phases, to encourage multiple local contractor opportunities to bid and execute this work. The Kerhonkson Sewer main pump station generator has just recently been replaced. We had a problem with that, and luckily there were no damage that was too bad, and in the process of that being replaced. So the Kerhonkson Water Line project is another project that's been going on for approximately at least a year. That's Osterhout Construction. They're doing a great job. They're actually down to their last part of the project. If you're familiar with Mill Street over the bridge, they have to go across the creek from Mill Street to Wood Street, and that really wraps up the entire project. The Kerhonkson Water Line improvements to that district, Phase 3 USDA funding, was a $6.8 million total cost, $53,000 town, $600,000 grant, $600,000 NYSHCR grant, 2.68 million, 2.68 million USDA loans, and 3.4 million USDA grants. So it's a project that's $6.8 million. Continuation and completion of the improvements to the Napanoch Sewer Collection System, Phase 6, sanitary manhole and vitrified clay pipe sewer rehabilitations. At this time, all clay pipe has been relined and all known manholes have been sealed, including installation of manhole lid inserts to minimize inflow into the manholes, and that was a $750,000 grant. For 2021, we're completing the Kerhonkson Water Line project, as I mentioned, which is at this point only has to go again through Mill Street to Wood. Commence and complete the $750,000 grant improvement to the Kerhonkson Sewer Collection System, the sanitary manhole and sewer lateral connection rehabs, and commence and possibly complete improvements to the Kerhonkson wastewater treatment through USDA funding. So to wrap this up with the grants and the projects there, the elimination of major projects puts the town of Wawarsing in a position to capitalize reserve funds to make it necessary to make the necessary improvements, as it goes a long way for things to reach to crisis stage before addressing problems, assuming grants won't be available in the short-term future. Thus, it is vital not to neglect water and sewer infrastructure using a penny-wise, pound-foolish mentality. We're very lucky that we've had Mark Blauer getting these grants. The employees that work with us are competent and good, and I'd like to thank the board for working on this for the last few years, and it's a good thing for Napanoch and Kerhonkson. Collectively, the town board found different ways to do business and to reach you during this COVID. The taxpayer, because of COVID-19, Councilman Tuzolino has done a great job organizing Zoom meetings for the village government, the town board, planning board, and zoning boards. A Town of Awarsing Facebook page has been created, which has allowed us to give our community information, activities, and events staged by many of our volunteer organizations. We plan on doing a lot more of putting stuff on Facebook in 2021, and to put out the word and put out the activities and the events for not just the Town of Awarsing, but also to point you in the right direction of anything that's going on in the town. The official town website has been changed from townofawarsing.net to awarsingny.gov. Please go to our new website. Is there going to be, where's Paul? Is there going to be a slight delay in the access? You can go into that now?
It's fully operational right now.
Okay, so it's fully operational right now.
Still got some cosmetic repairs to do, but it's functional and it's fully operational.
Okay, so there's some cosmetic issues that we'll deal with and make it the best we can make it. There are plans to create a YouTube channel which can be archived and available to everyone. Hopefully in the immediate future, we'll be able to provide our meetings like we have always on Channel 23. That's one of my pet peeves. I've been a little upset about not providing it, but we went through a transition with our IT service, and I expect that to be up and running in the near future. In closing, the town board is looking forward to serve you, the taxpayers, and provide the best services at the lowest cost to you. The town board is looking forward to a healthy and prosperous 2021 for everyone concerned. Thank you. Now we'll go into 7 o'clock meeting. We have 5 resolutions. We'll start with the Awarsing Town Board by resolution approves to sponsor the 4th of July committee and the events related and leading up to the July 4th parade. Do I have a motion? Paul makes a motion.
Second.
Roger seconds it. It's a roll call vote. Mr. Briggs?
Aye.
Paul?
Aye.
Cassie?
Aye.
Roger?
Aye.
And I vote aye. The resolution is passed. Second resolution, the Awarsing Town Board by resolution approves to designate Mark Blauer of Blauer Associates as the labor standard officer for the town of Awarsing for CDBG 1215 PR 58-17. So I need a motion for that.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Briggs and Paul, all in favor?
Aye.
That's a resolution.
That's a resolution.
That's a resolution. Sorry.
Town Board.
Wait.
We have to.
Roll call.
We have to do a roll call.
Aye.
Paul?
Aye.
Cassie?
Aye.
Roger?
Aye.
And I vote aye. Third resolution is approving Mark Blauer again as the labor standard officer for the town of Awarsing, CDBG 1215 PR 100-18. Do I have a motion?
Move it.
Second.
DJ makes the motion, Roger seconds it. It will be a roll call vote. DJ?
Aye.
Paul?
Aye.
Cassie?
Aye.
Roger?
Aye.
And I vote aye. The resolution is passed. The town of Awarsing, by resolution, approves to designate Mark Blauer as the labor standard officer for the town of Awarsing, the CDBG 1215 PR 158-19. Do I have a motion?
Second.
TJ makes the motion, Roger seconds it. TJ,
Aye.
Paul,
Aye.
Cassie,
Aye.
Roger,
Aye.
and I vote aye. The town board, by resolution, adopts section 324 CFR 85-36 of the Housing and Urban Development Act of 1968.
Move it.
TJ makes the motion,
Second.
Roger seconds it. This is a roll call. TJ,
Aye.
Paul,
Aye.
Cassie,
Aye.
and Roger.
Aye.
And I vote aye, so the resolution passes. Okay, budget modifications, I don't believe we have them at this meeting. We'll be doing that in probably the next meeting. Town board to approve the bills as audited.
Moved.
Roger makes the motion,
Second it.
TJ seconds it, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, town board to accept the minutes of the December 3rd regular and audit, the December 15th budget workshop, the December 17th regular and audit meeting, the minutes of the December 28th workshop meeting.
Move them.
Second.
TJ makes the motion, Roger seconds it, all in favor?
Aye.
7, town board to approve the expense for the following elected officials to attend the associations of town all virtual educational and networking event from 2/14 to 2/17. Supervisor Houck will serve as a delegate. So that's for the 5 board members, and we obviously in the past have gone to New York City for the associations of towns. There's 900 and some towns in New York State, and it's a very good education and training. Town clerk goes to her own up in Albany, I believe.
Various locations.
No, it's in various locations. But for this particular one, it's going to be a virtual this year, and so obviously the cost is going to be extremely less. So, we have a motion.
Move it.
TJ makes the motion.
Second.
Roger seconds it. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion is carried. Town board to approve Renee Olzemek, IAO assessor, to attend the New York State Assessors Association one-day seminar entitled Correction of Errors, Apportionments. This seminar is given via WebEx. The amount for this seminar is $50. So a motion?
I'll move it.
Cassie makes the motion.
Second.
Roger seconds it. All in favor?
Aye.
The motion's carried. Town board to authorize the supervisor to execute an agreement with the Ulster County SPCA to accept any dog brought to the shelter by our dog officer our dog control officer, Jill Schulfeld, space permitting. The term of the contract will be from January 1st, ending December 31st, 2021.
I'll move it.
Cassie makes the motion.
Second.
Roger seconds it. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion's carried. 10, the town board to authorize the supervisor to execute exchange order number 4 for Kenyon Pipeline contract, TWA 192 CDBG grant 1215 PR 5818. Increased contract to reflect actual installed quantities, resulting in a final contract price of $616,376.42.
I'll make the motion.
Paul makes the motion.
Second.
Roger seconds it. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion's carried. Town board to approve payment application number 8, which is the final, in the amount of $13,666 to Kenyon Pipeline Inspection for the Napanock Wastewater District Contract TWA 192 CDBG 1215 PR 100-18. Do I have a motion?
Move it.
Second.
TJ makes a motion, Roger seconds it. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion's carried. Town board to approve payment application number 16 in the amount of $127,116 to H. Ulsterhout Excavation for the Cohasset Water District, replacement of water mains and appurtenances, Phase 3, contract TWA 173, CDBG 1215 PR 37-13.
Move it.
Mr. Briggs makes the motion.
Second.
Roger seconds it. All in favor?
Aye.
That motion is carried. Town board to approve payment application number 1 in the amount of $225,370.40 to Aquastor Inc. for the Wawarsing Water District for Phase 1 of the storage tank.
Move it.
Mr.
Second.
Briggs make the motion. Roger seconds it. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion's carried. Town board to approve the December 20th invoice from the Atlantic Testing Laboratories in the amount of $4,067.50 for the Wawarsing Water District.
Move it.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion's carried. You got the squelch out?
Squelch.
Or not.
This person has got their.
We have a slight glitch that we're fixing here.
Technical difficulty.
There we go.
15.
Number 15, town board to accept the resignation of Nicholas Giminelli as a member of the zoning board of appeals. His resignation is effective as of January 1st, 2021.
Move it.
Mr. Briggs makes the motion, Roger seconds it, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion's carried. Town board to authorize the town clerk to advertise for one member to serve an unexpired term on the town board, zoning board of appeals. The term will expire on December 31st, 2021. The applications are to be returned to the town clerk's office by noon on Thursday, January 28th, 2021.
Move it.
Mr.
Second.
Briggs makes the motion, Roger seconds it, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion's carried. Town board to authorize the town clerk to advertise for one member to serve an unexpired term on the town zoning board of appeals. The term will expire on December 31st, 2024. The applications are to be returned to the town clerk's office by noon on January 28th, 2021.
Move it.
Cassie makes the motion, TJ seconds it, all in favor?
Aye.
Number 18, town board to appoint Sarah Underhill and Hank Bartosik as members of the Environmental Conservation Committee, or Commission. They will serve 4-year terms. The terms will expire on December 31st, 2024.
Move it.
Move it.
Second.
TJ makes a motion, Roger seconds it, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion is carried. I believe at this point we can talk to Mr. Pays.
Okay, I'll stand up there.
Okay, so where's the camera?
Right.
Camera's over here? Okay.
I'd like to ask the board to go out and buy 2 trucks for starting the process for this year, so we have by the end of the year, fix the year to get the trucks. I'd like to start the process. That's number 1. Number 2, I'd like to buy an excavator, which we'll pay for the money that we got back from the auction, the stuff we got, we sold this year. I'd like to purchase a Kubota excavator. I think it's like 74,000 thereabouts.
Okay.
I'd like to give you approval so I can start this.
All right, so what we're gonna do, I believe, is have Tony prepare, proposals for what the costs are for those.
Yep.
Exactly what they're buying, and if it's off the state bid, and just the normal process. And at that point, then we'll make a decision on approving it, right?
Okay.
Yeah, cool.
Okay, so, thank you, Tony.
Yeah, I'm good.
Again, Tony this year had made the auction, which I believe he probably made about 75,000. From, I think, maybe 11 pieces of equipment, somewhere in that range. Yeah, so. All right, so Mr. Briggs.
Just a few things first. It may sound awkward, but I want to apologize a little bit. I know I've been missing a couple of meetings, but I'm also currently enrolled in an EMT class that is being offered every Saturday from September through the end of February. But the class also meets on the first and or sometimes the third Thursdays of the month. So going back and forth. So for the folks out there that haven't seen me, if you're wondering where I was in class. So, and hopefully I'll pass and to better serve the community as part of the ambulance. So I appreciate people's understanding about that.
We appreciate what you do for the ambulance squad.
Just emergency services, last year we ran 1,322 calls in the first aid squad, which is down about 10% from previous years. I don't know if that's due to COVID or, some of our older residents, as they pass away, we don't always have as many calls. But COVID is strong. We had a call today, COVID patient. So, we're wearing full protective gear. And just informationally for the community, it's great when we know that. But we've also had calls where when you call 911, the 911 operator is going to ask you questions about, do you have a cough, do you have any fever? And we've gone on scenes or in folks' homes, and the answer to all those questions was no, and they were obviously, the entire household is COVID positive. So, I only ask you just for our safety and everybody's safety, just be honest there. It just makes life a lot easier. you know, I have a limited number of folks that are my paramedics or volunteers, and if something happens to us, conceivably, you know, we'd have to shut down with everything going on. So I just ask people to be conscious of that kind of stuff and help us out where you can. Also, as the supervisor mentioned, the vaccine is out. They are offering it at the hospital. I took mine a week ago Monday. You don't even know you get the needle. My arm was sore for about a week, but I'd rather have that than what I see when I bring a COVID positive person in on the ambulance. So, you know, go to the website, check it out, get the vaccine. I think that's going to help not only our town, our county, but the country as a whole, get us back open up again, and so on. Also, you know, I have to commend also the supervisor. He mentioned how we as a board work well together, and I think we've done an excellent job. But excellent jobs are also done with good leadership, and I think the supervisor has provided that to all of us. And I know he's you know, an 8, 9, 10 hour a day guy here. So even though it's a part-time job and it's an elected official, Terry's here every day, and you know, he serves all of us well. So I want to say thank you. And that's about it. Happy New Year, everybody. Let's be careful out there, and let's get through this thing as we've gone. Let's get through it together, and we'll be stronger as a result. So that's it.
Thank you, Mr. Briggs. Roger?
A couple things. I have a motion. I move that we hire Easton Raimondo as a full-time laborer. His rate will be at scale.
I'll second it.
That would be all in favor?
Aye.
The motion is carried.
A couple things. The building department, I guess, is we're almost done with our revamping of the codes for the town. It's been a kind of a long process, but we're coming along. We're just about at the end. We've done a lot of good work, and it's going to work out good for the town in the long run. It's things that needed to be done, needed to be changed, and it looks well. I'd like to comment on Tony, congratulate him. He's doing a great job with his new truck buying procedure. We're looking to buy like 2 trucks a year, move the old stuff out, get the new stuff in, keep it up to date, and he's doing a great job with that. He does a great job altogether on everything. Lastly, I'm sure most of you by now heard about what went on yesterday at our nation's capital. I watched most of it on TV, which really kind of made me shocked and angered and embarrassed. Hard to believe that something like that could happen in our capital. You know, there is a big difference between a protest and a riot. When you protest, we move 1 step forward. When we riot, we move 2 steps back. You know, just because you carry a flag and chant USA, 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 doesn't mean you're a patriot. Okay, so weird things, strange things happening, and sadly, I like to think that doesn't reflect the majority of how Americans feel and act. And other than that, I have nothing else.
Paul Dozolino.
Over here. Just a few comments. When I started just a little over a year ago now as a new councilman, in my wildest dreams, I don't think I would have expected that we would have had the challenges and issues that we had this past year. I started out with several liaisons, and my dear friend Steve Bradley, who's kind of assigned as my mentor with the liaisons. He passed away on us just about the time when COVID-19 was really hitting its stride, and it's been a very difficult year. You know, between the lockdowns and a lot of the challenges we had to try to figure out how to continue running town business, it was quite a challenge. A couple of things, and now Terry mentioned these things, so I'm going to be very brief about it, but Project Resilience is a project that got created by Ulster County, and I was happy to see that the town of Wawarsing participated in that. In addition to serving almost 15,000 meals with the help of folks like Roger and Cassie and a lot of other people in our town, and a lot of help from the Ellenville Fire Department to help us put the whole thing together and keep it running for more or less about 12 weeks. The other important part of Project Resilience, in addition to providing residents in need who needed meals, which we were doing 3 days a week, I think it also was a big benefit to letting our restaurants essentially get their situation in order and try to figure out how to do business in a pandemic. So it actually became a double benefit for the town, and I'm really proud of the way we had a little army of people that came together every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, right, Roger, Cassie?
Yep.
And we were delivering at its peak 750 meals a week. So I'm really proud of the fact that the town stepped up on that, and all of the people in the town who helped make this thing happen. Terry also mentioned too that we've just launched the new town website as the IT liaison and broadband liaison. You know, I have a lot of high expectations and ideas about some of the things we might get done. As Terry mentioned before, you know, we needed to figure out how to try to run town business. We've had issues that we're dealing with respect to some of our infrastructure that I'm hoping and expecting that in 2021 we're going to get resolved. Hopefully in the near future we'll actually be able to be streaming on Channel 23 our meetings actually live instead of them being recorded. And we do have plans to archive all of our meetings on a YouTube channel that we're just standing up very shortly as well, so that if you're not able to see the live streams, or you choose not to see it on Channel 23 or don't have access to Channel 23, those meetings will be available through links from our newly designed website that's, as I mentioned before, is up and running. I was happy to work with Roger on the intermuni committee with the Village of Ellenville. I think, you know, under difficult times, we're definitely working, you know, in stride together with the folks on the village board, and looking forward to continue doing that. So it's sure not the year that any of us expected, and I'm just really looking forward to a more normal and safer 2021. And that's what I have.
Thank you, Paul. Cassie.
There I am. Well, first of all, I want to thank everybody that came out to vote in this last election. The support and the fellowship that I found when I went door to door meeting all the residents was heartfelt, and I really appreciate it. And I'm going to work doubly hard at being transparent in government. I think that a lot of our problems we have in national media and national governance is lack of transparency and lack of truth, and I want the people of the town of Warsing to know that we do transparency. We are working on many different venues for access to us. Even if our doors are locked, you still have access to us, and ways to find out what we're doing here at Town Hall. I have a motion I'd like to make. I'd like to make a motion to hire Stanley Security Solutions to install and maintain CCTV cameras at Town Hall and all our water and wastewater buildings with a cost not to exceed $14,420.05.
Second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion is carried.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And I want to wish everybody a happy and healthy new year. And if you need anything, please reach out to Town Hall and we'll see what we can do to help you out. And I'm good, Karen.
And welcome to the board too, Cass.
Oh, thank you.
I know it was a strange entry. Normally there's a swearing in on January 1st, but we had to limit some of that due to COVID, but we want to welcome you all to the board.
Thank you, Paul.
Yes, welcome, Cassie. Some of the upcoming meetings are just on the 11th. We have a Historic Preservation Committee meeting at 4 p.m. in the Village Hall. The 12th, the Zoning Board meeting, 7 o'clock in the courtroom. January 19th, Planning Board meeting, 7 p.m. here in this courtroom. 21st, Town Board meeting, 7 p.m. in the courtroom.
Actually, Terry?
Yes.
Just a quick little correction on that. Those meetings are still being done exclusively remotely on Zoom.
Correct. So what Paul had said is that those meetings are Zoom meetings,
and they are posted on the town Facebook page and on the new town website, so that anyone who wants to participate in those meetings, they can attend those meetings via Zoom.
Thank you.
Yep.
My state of the town message, I'm sure that everybody got a earful, so we did mention pretty much everything that the town has done, so I appreciate everyone listening to that. I'd like to thank the town board collectively for their work in their individual liaisons. The budget in 2020 was a 0.35% tax levy from the previous year, and this 21 budget is at 0 increase. So the board is collectively looking out for your tax dollars. I believe since the 2% tax cap that Governor Cuomo instituted a number of years ago, we've always been under it, but in the last few years we've been well under that. And I appreciate the board working hard in each department to ensure that that is the case. Let's see. Something very, seems like it's a pretty easy thing, but we actually set up a direct deposit for the employees, which makes life easier for the accounting office and the employee. Speaking of our councilman that passed, Steve Bradley, last year on March 19th, we discussed in my State of the Town that the water treatment center at Institution Road is going to be named after him. That building will be done this year. We'll have a ceremony to honor him and the creation of that plant. In the last month or so, we actually we made a resolution to add Steve Bradley Way on Upper Jenny Brook Road, which is where Amber lives, and there's not enough that we could do for Steve of the 10.5 years that he worked. He worked as a councilman. He was involved with a lot of different organizations. 40-some years as a hunter safety instructor. Involved with his church. He did many things, and he was a great guy. So at this point, after that State of the Town, I think we'll make a motion to adjourn. Thank you and good night.
Thank you.